Michio Kaku is on our phone lines, the great physicist.
Yes.
Who talks to us like we're children.
Well, but you know something? We really are.
I mean, if we're going to blow up the moon, we got to get an expert on our show.
We haven't blown up the moon. See, this is why he talks to us like children. Because he's saying we blew up the moon.
Are we going to talk to him or not? Now there's a panic behind the scenes.
We sent a spent booster rocket.
Yes.
Into the moon.
Correct.
To kick up a bunch of crap.
Yes.
So another probe following that booster rocket could take all kinds of readings and see if there's any water or frozen water crystals in the cloud, in the plume, and then send that info back to Earth before that thing crashed into it.
Well, let's get him on the phone here. Michio.
Hi.
Dr. Michio Kaku.
Hello.
You must have a very busy day. Everybody wants to talk to you today, huh?
Okay, right, yeah. I've been doing a lot of media.
Oh, there he is on TV now.
No, that's the other Asian guy.
Oh, sorry.
That's Sulu. Michio Kaku.
Yes, right
Doctor.
here.
Yes, sir. Now, we were watching this this probe, and it seems to be a success.
Well, the actual shot was kind of disappointing. We were all expecting a Hollywood-style money shot like Deep Impact or Armageddon.
Yes.
But in the next few hours, the spectrographic analysis will come in, and if they find evidence of water and ice, that's a game changer. That could change the entire space program if they find large quantities of ice on the South Pole.
This doesn't mean that we'd have to take a lot of resources to the moon with us. Water can be used to make oxygen, to supply, obviously, water to
rocket fuel,
people.
too. Rocket fuel.
And rocket fuel, the hydrogen from the water, can be used as rocket fuel.
Shut up.
That's right. Also
that's
shielding
crazy.
from radiation. And you realize how expensive it is to bring water to the moon. A pound of anything on the Earth would cost $50,000 to put it on the moon.
And imagine if it's a pound of coke.
5 times the cost of gold.
Adds
this
to
is
the
better
price.
than finding gold.
Better than finding gold.
If there's ice on the moon, right? Because, gold is only $10,000 a pound, roughly, and it costs $50,000 to put a
But
pound
you
of
already
anything
know
on the
there's
moon.
no ice and water on the moon, right? You already know that.
Well, I think it's
Let's
still a
be
long
honest,
shot.
sir. You know that there's no ice and no water on the moon. You know that.
It's a long shot. A comet from billions of years ago may have slammed into the South Pole where it's very cold and it's permanently covered by shadows of craters. So there's a small chance that you could have large deposits of ice. But it's a long shot.
And you don't believe that we even landed on the moon, right, sir?
No, I think we've been on the moon. Now, we physicists shine lasers off the moon. There's a mirror left by the Apollo astronauts. We bounce lasers off that mirror, and then we can calculate the distance from the Earth to the moon within a few inches.
Just for fun.
So we
Now,
use
can you-
the moon program to calculate the distance from the Earth to the moon by lasers.
Now, can I ask you this? Are there any universally known like facts about the universe or about science that you completely dislike? Do you look at the theory of relativity and go, that idiot son of a bitch, Einstein was a dumbass? Like, are there any theories like by Hawking or anything like that you go, this is ridiculous, I don't believe it, and it's dumb?
Well, the thing that really kind of upsets me when I read physics books is when they talk about a singularity where space and time break down, gravity is infinite and stuff. There's no such thing as singularities, There's no such thing as infinite gravity.
I
It
agree
just means
that.
we don't know what's happening there. That's all. It's an excuse for our ignorance.
Now let me ask you this, sir. This is something I learned about space, and this is what I believe because it makes sense to me. Is that space is not really empty. It's more or less matter. And like say the sun is sitting in the middle of this matter, almost like if it's a stretched out sheet.
Yes.
And the sun is in the middle, and if you put balls and coins or whatever, it's just going to roll towards the sun. And that's what our planets are doing, are basically rolling towards the sun. But the thing that's keeping them from rolling into the sun is the fact that they have their own weight that's pushing down on this dark matter.
Well, I think that's very close to what Einstein said, except he beat you by 100 years.
Always trying to take something from a nigga. So
you don't get the E equals MC squared.
But I'm just saying that do you believe in that personally, sir?
Oh, yeah, we actually measure that. When we have dying stars, pulsars rotating into each other, space becomes like molasses. And we can actually measure that. In fact, the Nobel Prize was given a few years ago to physicists who calculated the fact that
somebody did something.
Yeah, that's
like
a real
molasses.
Nobel Peace Prize.
Yes, a Nobel Prize for science.
Have you personally discovered anything, sir? Like, meaning, have you ever made up a theory that's pretty well known?
My theory is called string field theory. I work in something called string theory, and we want to summarize it into an equation 1 inch long. That's my equation. And we hope to test string theory with a $10 billion machine outside Geneva, Switzerland. It's not going to blow up the Earth, but it could prove that we all are made out of vibrating strings. And that's what I do for a living. I'm the co-founder of string field theory.
String field theory.
And what is the significance to laymen's, like people who just are just living life? If I find out that I'm just a big black string.
Well, it means that we can read the mind of God. Einstein said,
see, scientists, this is your problem, sir. Stop messing with God.
Scientists are the only scientists who can say the word God and not blush.
You just, why don't you leave? Here's what you can't explain. This is what you're never able to do. You're able to tell me how your heart beat. No, you're able to tell, like, your heart beats, right? Mm-hmm. You're able to say your heart beats. We live because our heart beats. You give the cause, but you don't know why or how your heart beats. Like, it's just beating.
It beats by electricity. The electric impulse that stimulates the heart makes it beat. We can make frog hearts beat by shooting electricity through frog hearts.
See,
y'all really told God to kiss your ass.
Yeah.
Now, do you believe in God, sir?
Hell no, he doesn't.
Well, I'm just quoting from Einstein. Einstein believed in a God of Spinoza, the God of harmony, beauty, elegance, simplicity, that the universe was so gorgeous.
He was a Jedi.
It could not have been an accident. That's the God of Einstein.
Now, let me tell, last question. Well, maybe not the last one. What is the most unexplainable thing? Like, to me, the idea of the beginning. There has to be a place where you have to kind of chalk it up to God, meaning that even physicists go, man, my mind is not able to conceptualize that this is not God. Like, is there anything that you go, man, this part is God?
Well, we believe in what is called the multiverse, that our universe is a soap bubble of some sort that's expanding, but there are other soap bubbles out there. And we live in a bubble bath of universes, where big bangs happen when bubbles collide, bubbles fission in half. And we're going to prove it in the coming years with a new satellite that NASA is launching in about 5 to 8 years. And so we're going to prove that there was, in fact, something before the Big Bang, something before Genesis, before chapter 1, verse 1 of Genesis. And it was the multiverse, a multiverse of universes.
That is interesting.
Very interesting, Dr. Kaku.
But here's the God part is that the Big Bang, there was a something before the Big Bang.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
That's right. There were probably Big Bangs happening all the time, even as we speak.
But there was a beginning, Doctor, and that's God.
See, he's saying the ultimate beginning before the thing before the Big Bang. Before that, there had to be a greater power that got it all rolling.
But who created the greater power?
Exactly.
It just appeared?
We don't know. We physicists only deal with what we can measure.
See,
and we're going to be measuring radiation from the pre-Big Bang universe.
It's not his job.
The new satellite to be launched in 5 to 8 years.
Yeah, it's like asking a priest, what about string theory? He's going to be like, I don't know.
Well, we think that string theory is the ultimate theory, the final theory. The
I like
that eluded Einstein.
My string theory is, you see a string, your sheets are getting dirty. But that's just me, Dr. Kaku. I know you have to go. You only had 10 minutes.
Anyway, read my book. It's called Physics of the Impossible.
Have you ever
Physics of the Impossible.
Wait, Danny wants in real fast. Danny?
Speaking of Physics of the Impossible, Dr. Kaku, when is that show going to air on Discovery or History?
December on the Science Channel. 12 episodes I'm hosting on teleportation, starship, warp drive, parallel universes, ray guns, Death Stars, planet busters, everything you've ever wanted to know about Star Trek explained in December on the Science Channel.
We will raise our PsyQs. Yes.
I will do it. Quick question, actually, for Dr. Kaku. Do you feel that if this the moon mission is successful, do you think that'll fuel any kind of speculation that maybe a probe to Europa might be sent out anytime within our lifetime.
Well, I think it would give added impetus to a probe to Europa, a moon of Jupiter, which is covered with ice, but may have an ocean underneath the ice. And that ocean could be actually room temperature. And there could be, who knows, sea monsters maybe swimming underneath the ice cover of Europa.
Wow.
That's a game changer, too, because we once thought you had to be close to the sun.
Because
Europa is ice covered and far away
They just
from
want
the
to
sun
keep
and may
playing
have
around.
Because it does seem like the technology does, in fact, exist, for some kind of ice melting probe. I know that the surface ice on Europa is probably miles thick, but it does seem like we're getting close, if not already have the technology to burrow through it and kind of get to the liquid ocean under there.
That's right. NASA has designs for a submarine to float into the ocean of Europa.
Cool.
It's just a matter of cost. These are very expensive probes. Again, they cost maybe $50,000 to $100,000 a pound to put them out there to Jupiter. But hey, that's nothing compared to the trillions being dumped into the economy right now.
Do you believe there's other people out there?
People.
Yeah, I think maybe not in our solar system, but I think in outer space, there probably are people looking back at us, wondering whether or not there's any life on the Earth.
We're alone.
Probably no intelligent life on the Earth anyway.
Yeah.
And you think they're just the same thing as us, same societies and the whole thing, same structure that they just, boom.
Well, we physicists believe that there are type 1, type 2, type 3 civilizations out in space. Type 1 would be planetary. Type 2 is stellar, like Star Trek. Type 3 would be Star Wars and galactic civilizations. On that scale, we're type 0. We're not even a planetary civilization yet. So in outer space, there could be type 1, type 2, type 3 civilizations, perhaps 100,000 to a million years more advanced than us, in fact.
Wow.
Yeah, until they get rid of things like Maury and,
Yeah.
Do you ever
with the stars,
do you ever
like that.
the Opie and Anthony
We can't
show.
advance. The Opie and Anthony show, exactly.
Come on.
Doctor, do you ever swear? Like, if you discover something like amazing, like, you guys go, holy fuck balls, E equals MC square up in this bitch.
Yeah, that's what we do. We jump up and down and swear. I mean, when I discovered string field theory, I was just jumping up and down until like 5 o'clock in the morning, checking and rechecking all the equations to make sure that everything worked out right. And it worked. And it's one of the foundations of string theory now.
Damn.
Did you celebrate with a little, like, champagne? What do you do?
Well, we don't get drunk. That's what we physicists.
He calls Stephen.
That's why they know what they know. They don't go and get drunk.
He calls Stephen Hawking and said, take that, motherfucker. I'll shove that in your piano, nigga.
I got you on that one. I like how Dr. Michio Kaku described the whole moon thing we're doing today as a money shot.
Yeah,
you know what
shot.
That term comes from, right, Dr. Michio?
He knows.
Yeah, from Hollywood, like in Deep Impact, the money shot was when Manhattan gets covered with water.
It's a part of Hollywood.
We didn't see that money shot this time. It's a very faint explosion on the moon.
He still doesn't understand where money shot comes from. That's the porn industry, my friend. They use the term money shot.
Do you laugh at things like Nostradamus and the end of the world theories, the 2012 things like that? Do you laugh at things like that?
Well, when I was a kid, I used to read everything about the paranormal, Bigfoot and witches and demons and Nostradamus. And then I got disillusioned because then I began to realize that Nostradamus in the original is all metaphorical poetry. A dictator rises in the East, a nation rises in the West. What the hell does that mean?
Nonsense, right?
It's all nonsense.
And so 2012, this 2012 thing means nothing.
Yeah, so anyway, as a kid, I began to figure out that a lot of the stuff that amazes people today, if you really think about it, there's less than meets the eye, I think. I think science is more fantastic than any fiction.
And so is in Transformers.
Yeah. Hey, so the 2012 thing is all bullshit?
I think so. If you look at the Mayan calendar, it's in cycles. One cycle ends in 2012, but another cycle begins. But I guess someone thought they could make a lot of money saying that the cycle ends in 2012. So then a new cycle begins.
Yeah, and not bring up the new beginning one. Yeah.
And do you notice every time there's a black president in a movie, it's the end of the world? Danny Glover is the president in this movie 2012. Can you believe that? Can you effing believe that, Doctor? Every Deep Impact, anytime there's a black president, it's the end of the world. What's the other one? Fifth Element.
Fifth Element had it, yep.
A big cross-eyed black president.
Yeah, what's his name?
And it's the end of the damn world. Right. Oh, man. That's amazing. I love this. I love outer space, man.
Yeah.
I love outer space.
Go to a planetarium, then.
I don't love it like that anymore.
No?
You take a girl on a date. Hey, do you have a girlfriend, dude?
I have a wife.
You have a wife?
He's a married man.
Oh my! That's so curious to see. Like, how do you bore her, or is she also a physicist too? And I don't mean that you're boring, but I mean, your life is what you.
I like to think he just married a waitress.
Yeah, what you do is quite abstruse, doctor. It's very difficult to understand this stuff. So. I mean, is young women into it, too?
Patrice is basically saying you must be a bore at a party.
No, no, but, he got a wife, and is she into the thing, too? Into physics?
Well, art and science are extremely close together. Mathematics is almost like poetry. And if you think about it, physicists are like artists, except instead of playing with paint, we play with equations. So it's very creative. It's very imaginative, and
so you're saying you're a freak? Don't let the numbers fool you.
Yeah. he's
meaning you're a lot more exciting than what people would imagine.
Oh, it's fantastic stuff. We're talking about the meaning of the universe. We're talking about the ultimate constituents of matter. We're talking about cracking the big one, the big equation that makes the whole universe go. The ultimate theory. I mean, what could be more exciting than that?
Hey, before we let you go, Ant and Patrice were going at it pretty good this morning about the Earth. Are humans going to be able to figure this whole Earth thing out, or are we going to destroy ourselves?
Well, I think it's a race against time. I think in 100 years' time, there's going to be two trends in the world. One trend is toward the creation of a planetary civilization. That's called Type 1. But on the other hand, we have the forces of chaos, global warming, nuclear proliferation. And it's not clear which of the two forces will dominate. But, there are two contending trends in the world right now. And by 2100, I think it'll be settled as to whether or not we're going to have an age of Aquarius, a Type 1 civilization, or whether we wind up in chaos.
I seem to think humans are very adaptable. I think if we run out of a resource, it forces us to use our noggins, and the next generation does come up with a solution that the last generation created a problem for. It's been that way since we've really crawled out of the woods, and I don't think we can truly destroy ourselves or destroy this planet. I think everything adapts. And I truly believe that future generations have and will continue to fix the problems of the past generation.
Well,
I like that.
I think the Earth will survive. I'm not sure humans will survive, but the Earth will certainly survive.
Luckily, luckily none of us are vampires. We're going to be dead anyway. 50 years, I'm out of here.
What did Carlin say about that? It said the Earth's going to be fine. It's humans that are fucked.
Yeah, humans
something like that.
Yeah.
There's a famous Carlin.
And do you think there's an afterlife, sir? Is there anything that happens to us?
Don't ask him this. This is where it freaks everybody out. Go ahead. Tell him. Michio.
Well, I tend to think that there's no measurable evidence of a soul or an afterlife. We scientists have looked for it. We've tried to weigh the soul of the body before and after death. We see no difference in the weight. We see no reproducible evidence. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means it's not reproducible, not testable, not measurable, not falsifiable.
And he's a scientist, so he looks for that kind of proof thing. A spiritual thinking is something completely different.
Do you have any unconventional, non-physicist belief? Do you believe in ghosts? Do you believe in anything that do scary movies scare? Do you believe in anything that's not scientific that you go, man, the rest of my colleagues would think I'm a fool? Are you superstitious at all?
First of all, I love to see the movies. I have a great time watching magic shows and ghost shows. But my attitude is that I think we can reduce magic to physics. As Dr. Kaufman said,
he ruins all his fun. This guy can't have fun.
I love it.
We need people like that,
I love this guy.
Just believe that the guy is making things appear. Come on.
I think I'm quite reasonable, but I don't put hats on my bed. You know what I mean? I think I'm like reasonably not superstitious.
I knock wood. I knock wood if someone says something.
Excuse me, I got to interrupt because we got Stephen Hawking calling the show.
That's impossible.
Michio Kaku. No, I'm telling you, it's Mr. Hawking. It's a pleasure.
Okay, well, I got to get off the phone now, guys. Okay. It's been great being on the show. Okay, so I got to take off.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Kaku.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
He said,
Dr. Kaku.
he
Take
said
care.
I'm not talking to that pussy.
He's like, all right, I'm going to be, he's like, I'm part of a bit now. I'm done.
Do you
Interview
understand?
over.
He's basically saying, do you really understand who I am?
I'm a scientist,
I'm not
you
gonna be
idiot.
part of a shock jock bit.
Yeah. Here comes the bit.
I'm trying to figure out the fucking universe, and you're telling duty jokes.
There's some guy with a wacky fucking little doctor fucking...
Hello, Dr. Kaku. Why? You know you have the name Cock in your name? Kaku, get it? Cock?
All right, I gotta go. Yeah.
One of the brightest human beings on the planet is sort of a friend of ours, and we're gonna ruin that.
Yeah,
too.
we'll destroy
fuck
that fucking
no,
thing.
you're not. Who else is talking to that motherfucker?
Everybody today.
Oh, he's big today.
Yeah, this moon thing is big.
Oh, the moon thing. They're
Big
calling
shit.
this guy up like crazy now.
All right, why don't we take another break? We got to play a little catch up. When we get back, fucking Patrice wants to let it out a little bit about this Letterman thing.
Yeah.
And this thing is still hot, so we're going to do that a little bit.
Hey, what the fuck is the story with Dr. Phil?
Oh, let's get into Dr.
Yeah,
Phil, too.
because that's
Let's get into all new shit. Let's get in Australia and Dr.
And
Phil.
Australia
Yes,
with
Australia.
blackface and Harry Connick Jr.
Clear
not
the
happy.
field. Clear the field.
That's what we'll